Out from the island they come, lost but not alone. Lene gives them a place, a new island they call home. Under the tropical sun, stories begin to flow. Contestants old and brave find a new kind of glow. According to Lene, she's got a plan. Rescue the fallen with a wave of her hand. According to Lene, sun-kissed and free, a home for the broken, out on the sea. Cameras have gone away, but new lights start to shine. In her presence they stay, in this new life they find. According to Lene, she's got a plan. Rescue the fallen with a wave of her hand. According to Lene, sun-kissed and free, a home for the broken, out on the sea. Cameras have gone away, but new lights start to shine. In her presence they stay, in this new life they find. According to Lene, she's got a plan. Rescue the fallen with a wave of her hand. According to Lene, sun-kissed and free, a home for the broken, out on the sea. No affliction here, just love and care. Turtle islands come, but your heart finds its lair. According to Lene, sun-kissed and free, a home for the broken, out on the sea. No eviction here, just love and care. Turtle Island's gone, but your heart finds its lair. No eviction here, just love and care.
Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. This is going to be a different live. Y'all, my heart is beating so fast I can't stand it. Feels like it's going to beat right out of my chest. And because it's a different kind of a scary, right? Because what I want to talk about and why I started this live is something that I've never done here. Never. When there's problems, I usually address it in one of my lives, like the first couple of minutes. Then I move on and I don't ever talk about it again because why? Why would we? Why keep it going? That's dumb. And I don't like it. And that's how drama keeps going. And I'm not into that. But I am of the opinion that I don't always have to be heard. I don't always have to tell my side of the story. I don't always have to explain myself, right? People can believe what they want to believe. And the ones who know you, you know, kind of will figure it out for themselves because, um, they know you. They know your character. I mean, listen, you can't spend 8 months on this internet. And I'm gonna say it's pretty safe for me to say that probably every one of you here have been on the internet a lot longer than me. And I think you're smart enough to figure out that you've been hanging out with me for the last 8 months. And I think all of you have figured out if I'm full of shit or if I'm not. And I don't even have to say either one, right? I think most of you, if not all of you, have figured out what's what's real and what's shtick. Like what's my shtick, right? What's the funny part that doesn't mean anything, but it's just damn funny, so I do it, right? I think most, if not all of you, probably know my heart, um, and know really what kind of a person I am. Because if you didn't, I don't think you'd come back. So this is the one time I'm going to do this, and I know I've talked about it in a roundabout way without like getting totally into the tornado. I kind of stayed on the outside of it, um, because it wasn't worth it to me. But here's when it became worth it to me, that I realized today that I was going to tell my story. I was going to tell what happened exactly. And there are three sides to every story. There's yours, the other person's, and then the truth, right? Um, so all I can do is tell you the truth as I know it. I've never bullshitted anybody here. I've never lied to any of you guys. I'm not going to start now. I have no reason to lie to you guys. What is that going to do? What's that going to do? You guys have all the ones that have been here with me since day one or pretty close to day one. You have all heard me make mistakes on here, open and honest mistakes. And you have all heard me publicly apologize publicly for hurting people. That I never intentional, I can honestly say I have never intentionally hurt anybody on here that I cared about. Have I ripped a couple people on here? Yeah, but they deserved it. And I would do it again over and over to those same people because they're assholes and they deserve it. And I think you guys know, I don't even have to mention those, especially those two guys' names. Um, but they deserve it, and they weren't just attacking me. In fact, I don't think either one of them attacked me. They attacked the chat, and I wasn't going to put up with it. So if you've been here long enough, you guys know I don't do this. I don't do drama. I'm not a drama channel at all. You got to go right back out the door if you're going to do it. You can do it. You can do it, but you have to leave. You can't do it here, right? So I've always, since I started this, been like, it's not important for me to tell exactly what I know, how I know, or give my side of any kind of a story, because it's just gonna keep it going. And I don't want to keep it going. And I really, frankly, never thought that I would have to do this. But um the last couple of days, some things have come to light about um, a situation that somehow I got myself into about 3 weeks ago. You guys, I don't even know what it is now. I'm so lost. About 3 weeks ago, when I kind of disappeared a little bit and then just would show up every now and then when I could get up the courage to do so. And then I just was like, I did a lot of praying and I did a lot of searching and thinking and figuring out, was I gonna keep going with YouTube or not? Because it really, I'm not gonna lie when I tell you it really affected me, what had happened. And I'm gonna tell you guys everything that happened. I am. I'm putting it out there. And the only reason I am putting it out there is because here we are. How many weeks later? I don't know. You guys tell me. Um, and shit is still happening. And there's a lot of confusion. People say, well, I don't know what went on. And some people say, well, I was told this went on. Well, nobody got told what went on by me because I addressed it here and then I left it, right? So, because of the last couple of days, things that have come forward, I told Maggie that this morning I was like, that's it. I'm just going to tell everybody exactly what happened so they know what happened. And, and then I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, right? There are people that are still hurt over what happened, and there are people that are blocked from the channel now because of what happened, and they don't understand why they're blocked. So we're going to go ahead and cover all of that. Okay. Um, if you don't know yet, this is about the Martin Lene feud, and I'm going to be as accurate as I can. I had all of the text messages that I could have sent. I never even shared them with Maggie. I didn't share them with anybody. Not the text messages. I never shared them with anybody because I'm not into, just because I don't like someone, I don't want you to like them. That's not how I roll. If I don't like someone, you'll figure it out. Whether you like them or not, doesn't, your relationships don't have anything to do with my relationships, and vice versa. Because there's been many people that have come to this channel and I've gotten the little warnings, and they've been like, Lene, you just be careful, be careful, be careful. And I'm like, I know. Let's just see how this plays out. Because I do believe that um, people can change, that want to change. Now, were those people who gave me the warnings right? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I learned the hard way. But I still learn. I learned the hard way, but I still learn. But they were right. But I still have to give people chances. Right. So, good morning. Hello to everybody. If you mods will just do me a favor and let me get all of this out. It's going to take me just a little bit because I'm going to go back to the beginning of time, all the way up to present day, to explain everything that happened. So if you mods will just do me a favor, welcome those that come in. Say goodbye to those that leave, because I don't want to keep stopping and confusing everybody. I just want to put it out there, okay, and be done with it, because I'm telling you, this is my story. This is the truth, of exactly what happened, and I don't care. Anybody else can negate it or whatever, but I lived it, so I'm just letting you know. And if I'm wrong, I have no problem telling people I'm wrong. I don't. I have no problem. What is anybody going to do to me for being wrong? Nothing. Leave the channel? Okay, do that. Right? So I'm not scared of being wrong at all. At all. And if I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong and I try to correct it. And I think you guys have been here long enough to see that that's happened a couple of times in this channel, where I've had to say, guys, I was wrong. And I had to publicly tell that person that was in chat what I did was really wrong. And I'm sorry. And I take full responsibility. And I always have, and I always will. That's who I am. I do that in real life too. All right. So the first time I ever met Martin, like I said, I'm going back to the very beginning because I want you to completely understand how I got myself in the position that I got myself in. We met Martin when Martin came in a live that I was doing about baby reindeer. And I was, he was very knowledgeable about it. I saw him in chat. He was just talking about it, give me other stuff to look at. I loved it. He was really engaged. It was great. From then on, Um, Martin was in chat every time I was live. Every time I was live, Martin was in chat, and I appreciated the support, right? He was good. He was good at chat, and people liked him, and I had him up on my panel. Well, I do to him what I did do to every man. Okay. And my shtick is take your shirt off, you know. It's not to be a dominatrix, not a dominatrix at all. It's a it's a game, you see. And it's fucking funny to me. And it's fucking funnier when people do take off their shirt. Do I expect everybody to? No. Do I respect those that do? Yeah. Do I respect those that don't? Yeah. The ones that do, it's fucking funny. And I have a weird sense of humor, and that's just uh, it's who I am. And so I guess now, if my memory serves me right, which I'm pretty sure because this is my MO, that the first time he came up on panel, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna need you to take your shirt off because you become more relevant if you are shirtless to me." And he did. Now, am I to blame because he took his shirt off? That he fell for that? No, no, no. But he's not in that camp alone. There's been like, I think I counted it with Maggie and somebody else, like probably 6 to 8 different guys that have come in here and take their shirt off. That's on them. You take your shirt off, take your shirt off, you know? I didn't tell you take your shirt off or leave. It wasn't about that. Just fucking funny, right? To me, anyways. So took his shirt off. The next time he was on a live with me, I think it was the next time. It might have been a time or two after that. I was like, Martin, take your shirt off. And he took his shirt off. Now, is that my fault? He took his shirt off not once, but twice? No. He could have said no, like a couple of other men have said no, but he didn't. So then I guess Wild Angel was up on panel. Now I'm only dropping her name because Martin dropped her name whenever that name with a whole bunch of other names when he lost his shit and when he raged at me. Okay, and we'll get to that part too. Um, was up on panel with Martin one time, and one or both of us, I don't know which one first, to tell you the truth. It could have been me, so I'm not denying it. I'm not going to deny it. But Martin said that I called him submissive. Now this is when Martin first started coming to channel, you guys. This is not like yesterday. Okay. So he says that I'm the one that said it. So I'm not going to go look and see if he's right or wrong. If he says I said it, then I said it, and I'm going to take it, right? So he said I called him submissive, and no man likes that, and blah blah blah, and all this other stuff, and he was really shitty. Well, mind you, Martin didn't tell me that right away. No, this is months down the line. This was three weeks ago. I heard about this, right? Didn't know anything about it. Whatever. If you're up on my panel and you're laughing with me, I think I think you're just a part of it. I think you're a part of it. And so if you're laughing, I think everything's fine. Now, had he said to me, Lene, I don't like it very much. Like to me, that's just fucking rude. I would have been like devastated. I would have been like, Martin, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. I was just goofing off and I didn't know that would offend you, and I'm sorry. That's how I handle things. And you guys know that about me. I didn't know anything about offending Martin, right? Because after that, Martin was on my panel more times than I can count. More times than I can count. And I'm not going to go and count them. Okay. So Martin was on my panel. Everything was good. Did never know that I offended Martin at all. Never knew. Never, never, never. And he was up on my panel and everything was great. And I thought we were friends. We were messaging back and forth to each other on Messenger every day. Every day, Martin and I were messaging. Okay. I got to where I really trusted Martin. I'm not gonna lie. I told Martin things that only Maggie knows. Okay. Because besides Mags, I mean, really I talked to Martin more than I ever talked to Maggie. Because I mean, that's just what Martin does is he messages all day, I guess. So, when I got time to sit down, I would answer his messages, right? And we had a lot to talk about. And I trusted him. All right, so fast forward, we're doing fine. Everything's the boat's rocking, everything like that. Well, then all of a sudden, here's what happens, right? DJ never took his shirt off. RC has never took his shirt off. JK, and those are the three guys, and neither has Richie ever taken their shirt off. Those are four guys that are regulars in here, right? They were just like, no, Lene, we're not taking a shirt off. Okay, no big deal. We're just laughing, right? No big deal. You can go back and look through all my lives. After I originally asked every one of them men to take their shirt off because that's what I do and what I say, uh, I never once asked them again. Listen to the lives. Every time DJ comes up on panel, the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, let's get this out of the way, Lene. I'm not doing it. The answer's no. Well, I hadn't even brought it up again. And then the last time DJ was on panel and he said that to me, I was like, I didn't even ask you again. He's like, I know, but you're going to. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. But I just let it go, right? Because there's no sense in arguing about it. Uh, if they don't come up on panel, watch the guys in chat. They'll say every time, it never fails. It never fails. The guys who haven't taken off their shirt will come in and say, Lene, I'm not taking off my shirt. Well, I didn't ask you to. But if it, for whatever reason that you're going to say it, I think it's to get my goat and get me going to start talking about taking off shirt. But I don't. I'm just like, I know you're not going to take off the shirt. Go back and listen to the lives if you don't believe me. Fast forward to SA. Um, SA came to my channel and I asked him to take his shirt off. Of course, he's a guy. I'm going to do it every time. And he's like, no, it's against my culture, blah, blah, blah. It was a big joke. It was funny, whatever. So I dropped his link. People started hanging out over at SA's channel, which is great. I don't drop links so that you don't go to those channels. I drop links because you know, figure they're good channels to hang out at. So I started going over to SA's channel, and every time I hung out at SA, and I didn't hang out there long. I don't listen. I have time for YouTube. I don't want to make time for you more than what I do. I don't because I don't want this to be my life. And but I try to support my friends. If you're having a live, like I'm gonna jump in, give you a like, tell you I love you, appreciate you, whatever. Hang out for a minute, and then I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? Because again, I already spend enough time on YouTube doing my channel that I can't allow that. I have an addictive personality. I could become addicted to this, and I'm not gonna allow myself. So, I would go in and say hello to SA or whatever. Look over at SA's live every time I came into it. Every time I came into his live, he would say, Lene just wants me to take my shirt off. Other than last night when SA come in here and like two other times when SA's been in here, he has not mentioned himself taking. Actually, I take that back. It's just been the last two because the time before that, SA came in and said, well, I know Lene wants all the guys to take the shirt off. So here's the deal, you guys. These guys are using that to either get me going so that I'll keep talking about it. I take that back. Mobile Mechanic has never taken his shirt off either, but he's never been on my panel. Um, these guys say that shit to me to get me going, and I will go if they want me to. If they all keep it up, sure, I'll banter. Let's do it. It's funny. So at SA's, he had mentioned it to me about, Lene loves all the guys taking off shirt. Lene, I can't do it because it's my culture. I didn't ask you to, right? Then his dumbass mod started just being evil, right? Just, you're a piece of trash. I've seen your channel. You guys are loose women. The way that your mods dress, the way you dress, blah, blah, blah. Bitch, please, ain't nobody worried about you over here. We didn't ask you to come in here and sit in the damn bushes. Fucking troll, go away. So now I didn't say that. That's what I'm thinking. Here's what I did say. I was like, SA, you have a good day. It's good seeing you. And I never went back into his chat because I respect him enough that if that bitch kept coming after me, I was going to say something to her, right? Like anybody would, like you should. Don't be anybody's doormat. Fucking stand up for yourself. So, as respect for SA, I quit going into his chat, right? Other people didn't. That was fine. I guess she didn't give him as much shit as she gave me, which is fine. You know what I mean? Not everybody's cup of tea. Y'all know that. I'm good. So, a little bit fast forward. Martin and I are still doing good. He's up on my panel. He's doing this. We're talking in messages. And not about anything that really has anything to you about YouTube. It really, sometimes we would talk about, I'm not going to lie, about Rose. Sometimes we would talk about Maggie. Sometimes we talk about Maria. But I don't feel like a lot of it was, I don't feel like it was negative. I just don't. These were just people that were close to us, right? Now, it did get negative whenever Maria and Rose and Martin weren't getting along. I don't even know how that started. I don't remember. It's not in my brain because it doesn't involve me. And it didn't involve me. So I stayed out of the whole thing. I just stayed out of it, right? Martin started his channel, right? I remember writing down on my calendar, I remember him being up on my panel, and I said, Martin, within 6 months, and then I said, no, let me retract that. Within 3 months, you will have a channel. You will, because you like panels. And he's like, no, he said, I like doing panels. I've decided I like doing panels. I was like, well, you know what? Let's get you to 50. So whenever you're ready to go live, you're all set up, right? You guys, I was dropping Martin's link in here when he was in somebody else's channel. Now, if somebody's kind enough to be dropping your link and growing your channel for you, you probably should stay in chat. That would be the good thing to do. That would be the right thing to do. But he wasn't. And he knew I was dropping his link. And he knew I was like, let's get it. It only took us like what, a day and a half, two lives to get Martin to 50. Right? No, he's over in somebody else's chat. I won't mention his name. And it pissed me off in a way. And I thought to myself, I need to just quit this. I need to just stop. Because none of these people are out here, you know, uh, dropping my name in their chat when I'm doing it for them. But if they come up on my panel, the least I could do for them being here and just for giving me an interview or talking to me or just whatever is to drop their link in chat. But there's been quite a few. I haven't even sat and um, counted it out. How many people that I got to 50 so that they could start going live or start doing their shorts or whatever. Because all of us got everybody who's a creator ended up getting subs from somewhere. Somebody helped them. Okay. And I got help. So for me, it's like you pass it on to people who you care about and who you think, damn, they could be a great creator. And when I started doing that, I thought, this was my thought behind it was, I want to get people who support this channel and are lovely to everybody in this channel. And let's make our own community, right? So that people who do like to be on YouTube a lot, they'll always have a place to go, and we're kind of all like-minded people. So that was my thought. Well, that didn't work out for one reason or the other, right? So then Martin, I was like, let's get you to 50. Well, he got to 50 and he pretty much will started lives right away, which I thought was damn cool, right? Here's the problem. I was a little shocked when 9 out of 12, well, I got to say 11 because she's got a wrench, but she's, you know what I mean? She's not really a mod here. She's the co-host. So 9 out of 11 of my mods, he modded. And I thought, and even Mary Jane Doe said this to me in chat one day. She said, well, you got your mods from, you took me from Tina. Let me tell you the difference. There is a difference. Yes, every one of the people that have a wrench in here were modded mostly in the beginning. I found them over at Tina's. I did not mod anybody for the first, I think it was 2.5 to 3 weeks on this channel because I really didn't think I needed them. I was starting it from the ground up. I had nobody but 8 people coming in here. Who needs mods at that point? I can do that shit myself, right? Well, then I started getting bigger and I was like, and there was a couple of times somebody came in here and I was trying to do a show and watch the chat constantly to get rid of people who just were coming in for whatever reason. And during this time, Rose and Tina had kicked off and started their feud. And so I was getting even more hate in here, one for the other. Someone was uh, bitching about Rose. Somebody was bitching about Tina. And I'm like, go to their channels. You're not going to do it here. We don't care. Nobody cares here. Go do it over there. We're not doing that here. This is not this isn't the ring to be fighting in, right? That's not what this channel is. Go to all their chats and go do that over there. So then once I realized, oh my God, I'm sitting here having to do this, and I was sidetracked plus paying attention to my phone and the messages I was getting and all this other shit, I knew. I was like, oh my God, this is what mods mean. Okay, I got to get me some mods. I prayed about it. The only person I knew before I had prayed about it, the very first person I ever modded was Melly Joe. And I didn't even have to pray about her. I just knew right away it had to be Melly Joe. She was in my very first live and she came back every time. And I was like, I I got a mod Mel. I think she was the first person I talked to on my channel as well. So after that, I prayed. I was like, I need about, let's see, probably about eight mods because my number was 8 because I had 8 in my first live. And I decided after that that I would always start my live when there were 8 people. When I saw 8 people in chat, boom, I'm going to start my live. So then I thought, all right, then that means I got to have 8 mods because I felt like that was the number. That was my number. And so I did. And I'm telling you, God just gave me those mods. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. And I still know it. Okay. And here's the difference though. We all had uh wrenches in Rose's and Tina's. The wrench at Rose and Tina's means absolutely nothing. Zero. Tina flat out said in one of her lives, she might have said it in a couple lives, but one of the lives I was in there, she said, the reason why I give everybody a mod, hold on, let me do my Tina voice. The reason why I give everybody a wrench is because I want them to keep coming back. Well, that's her jam. Okay. Do you, Tina? But nobody was allowed to block those. None of us blocked. None of us timed out. None of us did shit. It was just oh, you're in my chat now. Here's your wrench. It was a popularity thing. It was just a thing. But for me, I wasn't going to wrench everybody. I just needed a circle of good people that thought the same way I thought, that we're not going to do the drama here. We're going to have fun. We're going to laugh and do everything but drama, right? That was the idea. And God gave me those people. So do I feel like I took Tina's mods? No, absolutely not. No, because we weren't mods. Just be a mod is in here, a mod is a mod. I don't ask the mods who they've blocked. I don't look at my block list unless one of them asks me to. I don't sit on YouTube. I sit in StreamYard. So um if you're being blocked or timed out, I don't ever see it because StreamYard doesn't show that. That shows over in YouTube. So I don't ever see it. And I've told my mods, don't ever tell me when you've had to block someone. I don't care because I trusted them and I knew that even if somebody came in here that they did not like, they weren't going to block them because that has to do with outside this channel, not in this channel. So if you could behave in the channel and just have a good time and go on and just be a decent human being and grown, then you could stick here. You could stay. And I didn't even have to have that discussion with the mods. They just knew. They wanted the same thing for a channel that I wanted, right? So I never even had that discussion. The only thing I said to them was after getting about 2 or 3 that, "Hey, I had to block this person. If you don't wanna block, go unblock them." I'm like, "No, not doing that. That's that's what you do. You you take care of what's going on in chat, and I'll take care of what's going on the panel." And it's just an agreement we have, and I trust them. I really do, 100%. All right. So I was blown away when I noticed that 9 out of 11 mods were modded at, with Martin. Now, we have anywhere from 20 to 40 people in here pretty much during the lives. We really do. And there are plenty of people in the chat every night that I could mod. And I feel like they would do a pretty good job at it. And I feel like they could be non-biased and they could do it. But it's not a popularity contest. It's about the channel and what we need and what we don't need, right? No confusion here. So, um, my way of thinking was that Martin didn't have to mod my mods because there were plenty of people here to pick from that could have modded his channel and done a very great. There's a lot of you that do not have wrenches, and you would be great mods. You really would. And I'm not just saying that. I'll tell you if you suck, but you don't. Okay. I'm telling you right now, me and Maggie, we suck at it for 2 different reasons. I suck because if you notice the mods here, they will be real sweet. They're like, listen, we need you to behave, be kind, or else, you just can't stay here. They always are so nice like that. Me, I'd be like, you're done, bitch, out, bye. Bye, bye. Don't come back. So that's why I would be a terrible mod. Maggie would be a terrible mod because she already dedicates herself to this channel and uh and now she does a segment by herself as far as the reading goes, and sometimes she'll pull a live in for herself just so that we have times and places for people to go. So even though Maggie and I wouldn't do it for different reasons, we still both know that modding us is just not a good idea, right? So, and we've been very vocal about that. In fact, every person that I help grow a channel, I said, the only way I'm going to help you is that you promise not to mod me because I know I'd be a bitch. I know it, especially for my friends. If you're my friends in there and you're talking shit about their chat or panel or something, I'm like, fuck you, you got to go. I'm not going to give you that nice, sweet thing that the mods here do. They're so nice. Props to the mods. So I thought about that, and I was like, well, and I even called him on it. He was on my panel, and I was like, you modded all my mods, you idiot. And he was like, well, they're great mods. Well, I get that, but there's a lot of great people here. Because in my mind, now this creates a conflict of interest. So now you put the mods, my mods, in a bad position. What happens if you decide to go live when I'm live? Now the mods have to say, oh my God, which one do we mod for? You don't do that to people. You don't you don't do that to get your own people, right? So, but I was like, look, I go live at this time. Usually I will go live anywhere from 1:30 in the morning and I do anywhere from 4 to 6. Sometimes I've done longer lives. So I think one of my mods slash his mod told him, look, you have to just make sure that you're not going live the same time as Lene. Now, there are times since Maggie, but understand, way before Martin had his channel, Maggie and I talked about um, doing a reading series. So that was already in the works for us. Now, Maggie and I are on 2 different timelines together. We're 5 hours apart. In order for her to be with me and for me to be in her lives, we have to do it at a certain time. And so that's how those time frames came up, okay? Then here's what pissed me off. I don't remember what it was, but I think Martin was having a problem with Rosa Marie at the time. He and I were sending messages back and forth, and and somehow I got brought up into some of that, and I was like, Martin, I'm not dealing with this. I'm gonna go when I go live. I'm gonna talk about it, and then I'm gonna be done with it. And he's like, well, I'll come up on panel with you. I said, I don't need you to come up on panel. You do you. I'm gonna do me. And I can't I'm not going to address what's happening with you and your channel. I'm only addressing mine. So I don't need someone to come up on panel with me. I got it. What ended up happening was he showed up here, and I put it out there. Look, this is what's going on. I didn't tell everybody what's going on, but I was like, this is why I'm doing it this way, blah, 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 blah. And then after I was done talking about it, Martin comes in here, and some of you may have been here, and he says, I'm going live in 10 minutes. Nobody has to come. I just want everybody to know I'm going live in 10 minutes. Now, that pissed me off because Creator 101, you don't go into somebody's channel when they're live and tell everybody you're going live. That's not what happens. It's rude. It's disrespectful. And especially since I fucking helped you grow your channel. Okay. I'm the one that got you there. Now, could you have gotten there on your own? Yep, you could have. He didn't need me. He could have gotten there. But would he have had everybody here go over there like he did? Probably not. Doesn't matter. He got it done the easy way within 2 days. He was ready to go live. It would have taken him a little bit longer than that. Now, so that pissed me off. Then I find out DJ had come up on panel. DJ and I were sitting here talking. Chat was just going along fine. I'm not kidding you. Within 10 minutes, chat stopped in its tracks. DJ thought it was him. He was like, wow. We watched chat stop. I watched both me and DJ could see, how many people were in chat. And he's like, Lene, I'm sorry. I guess people don't want to hear what I have to say. And I knew. And I was like, it's not you. It was like Martin went live. And they all went over there. So I closed my live down, right? I didn't say nothing to Martin about it because I figure rookie mistake 101. I've made mistakes too. Now, I think differently. So I always think of other people before I think of myself. So that kind of a mistake I've never made. But I've made other mistakes. So I gave him grace, never mentioned that to him ever. Then I found out just from watching back his live, I found out that he not only started a live, but he messaged several of my mods, which were now his mods, in the chat while they were in my chat and said, "Can you come over here? Because I'm live." That didn't sit well with me either. And so began the conflict of interest that I knew was going to happen. So I guess one of the mods, again, or maybe two, told him, "Hey, uh, you can't be live when Lene goes live." Now, whether they mentioned to him or not, what you did in there was way wrong. Like, you don't do that. You don't go into someone's live and tell everybody you're going live. That's been done to me a couple of times. And not by any channel that I've grown, which pissed me off even more because they've been on YouTube and been creators a lot longer than me. But to come in my chat and say it as a creator who's been, doing this longer than me, they should have really known better. And so I quit associating with them people altogether. But um, Elaine, no, I'm not saying that. And you don't know me, Elaine. You have no clue who the hell I am or what I am. So you wouldn't even have to ask that question if you knew me. And that's all I'm going to have to say to you about that. But I appreciate the view. What you don't realize is you can come in here and say whatever the fuck you want to say here. But you're giving me a view. So thank you. Um, anyway, so I let Martin go with that one too. Didn't say anything, did not talk to the mods about anything. And because I didn't want to hurt them, and I knew they were already struggling with, what the hell do we do now, you guys? What do we do now? So that all happened. Now so begins the conflict of interest. And whoever's texting me or sending me a message, I can't get to those right now because it can't be sidetracked. So then began all that. Well, then I guess whenever one of my mods slash his mods said, talk to him about it, his next affirmation was that I'll go. No, it wasn't an affirmation. I'm sorry. I guess he was supposed to have a live with his mom to show his baby pictures or something. And he did a community post where it said, "I'll go live and do what I want to do." I'm what I just remember those words. I know he canceled that live and he said, "I want everybody to know that I do what I want to do and I'll go live when I want to go live." Now, that's kind of fucked up, but whatever. Okay. Now we're at that point. He's also at the same time fighting with Maria and Rose, but not fighting with Maria and Rose. You understand? So Maria is putting out all these community posts, one right after the other, about Martin and Gina Diamond and whatever was going on there. I knew kind of what was happening, but I was staying out of it because it didn't have anything to do with me, and they didn't need me. They didn't need me to get involved in that, so I left it. So then, and then Rose was doing a live. I forget it. Martin is the one that told me all this, you guys. Martin told me that Rose was going live about him every day, and sometimes my name was being brought up to it. And Rose was being nice, you know, talking about how, one day she hopes we can be friends and that she appreciates me. And those were kind things to say about me, and I appreciated it. And that what I saw was that she really was not mean to Martin. She was like, "Martin let me down." Now, he could have been mean. She could have been mean to him at some point or another. I don't know because I quit watching Rose, right? Um, so I uh I was just listening what Martin had to say about Rose's lives and stuff like that. And from what I gathered, Rose wasn't being mean or saying anything. She just said that she was disappointed and wished that Martin had hung around because she was really looking forward to learning Spanish and all this other stuff. So, whatever, right? Then, so they're all just doing their thing, right? Martin's doing his lives. I guess Rose is doing hers. Maria's, hurt and upset over the things that Martin put her through. Um, and I, um, let me just try to get these timelines straight in my head. Um, that's what happened next. So the next thing that happened, they're all still feuding with each other. The next thing that happened is a screen name named Suze, Suze, came into my chat. Now, let me explain this. Suze with that picture and that name was a subscriber of mine. She was over at Tina's, and that's where I met her from, right? I didn't see her that much at Tina's. She would just pop in, pop out. Same thing she did here in the beginning of all of my lives for about the first 3 or 4 months. She would just pop in and say, "Hi, Lene," and just hitting the thumbs up. I got to go. Okay, no big deal. I understand that because it's hard for Americans to make my lives because I go so late. Okay. So I understood it. No big deal. I appreciate you just jumping in. It's no big deal. Right. So then I hadn't seen Suze in a while. There are people I don't see. I could go 3, 4, 5 weeks without seeing a certain individual, and all of a sudden they pop back up for a little while, right? So who am I to tell people where to go? I'm just thankful whenever they get the time or want to make the time they come in. Thank you for that, right? Well, Suze has showed up in my life. I guess that triggered Martin. Here's the deal. I never even knew what Martin's sister's name was, but I wasn't gonna tell him, Martin, I don't even know what your sister's name is. Because that would I didn't want him to say, you fucking I didn't know what he was gonna say. Right? Come to find out, a lot of people didn't know what I have not I have not talked to anybody that knew what Martin's sister's name was. But he was talking to us as if we knew his name was Sue, her name was Suze, or that they called her Suze, right? And so me and him are going back and forth with this whole Suze thing. And I was like, Martin, I said, I'm telling you, I saw Suze in my uh lives, and she was a sub of mine way before I met you. Before I even had a channel, she was in Tina's channel. I was like, this is what I said. I said, I need you to ask Maria and Lizzo, Rose. Tina wasn't back on at the time, I don't think, or if she was, he didn't know her that well. And I said, ask those 3 people. They've seen her, right? These are the 3 people that were the closest to him. That's why I came up with those names. Okay. So I guess he asked Lizzo, Maria, Rose. All 3 of those people said they didn't know Susan, had never seen her before. And I got to thinking about that. I was like, that has to be such a fucking lie. And then I figured it out. When I go live, the people who live in the UK do not live here. They're 5 hours ahead of me, right? So when I go live, they are still asleep. They usually come in. So say I go live at like 1:30. I don't see Maggie until like 3:30 my time, which would be 8:30 her time. Okay. So because the Sues I knew and Tina knew lives here in the States, she would have been in our lives earlier than what Lizzo and Maria had seen her. I just assumed that they had until I figured it out in my head that no, Suze did not stay in my lives the whole time. She just always would drop in, say hello, and then be gone. Right. So I was live one day and Suze shows up here. And up to this point, I thought me and Martin were fine. Martin did what he did, the rookie mistakes, like I said, and I let it go. Didn't even say anything, even though people said something to me. Some people sent me a message and said, "What the fuck was Martin thinking?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know." So I just let it go. Didn't say anything to Martin about it. So then the whole Sue's thing came right, and all I was hearing, because Rose and Maria Martin are all at odds. So I get a text message during that live, but I try not to answer my text messages during a live. Or a message, not a text message, a messenger. And it was from Martin, but I didn't see it. And then I got another messenger from Lunch Lady. And she said, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know I had to block that lady Suze because Martin thinks it's a troll. And we checked it out. She does have an account since 2003. If I did the wrong thing, just let me know um, and correct it, and I will apologize." And I was like, "Why would you block Suze?" So then I went over and I looked, and sure enough, she was blocked. And I was like, "No, Suze has been coming in here forever." At this point, I didn't know that Suze had triggered Martin and that he thought that she was a troll. So then I get a long message from Martin and it says, and he was talking about Maria and Rose. And he said, they fucking, how did he put it? They fucking have gone too far this time. Uh, they're using my dear dead sister's name and trolling with my dear dead sister's name. And I said, Martin. And he was like, yes. I said, Martin, you guys are all wrong. Every one of you are wrong. And he's like, Suze is my debt. And he just kept going. And I was like, no. I said, Martin, you're wrong. I said, Suze has been coming to my chat since I've had a channel. She was in Tina's prior to me. That's when I told him to ask Lizzo, Maria, and all them. Well, then when Lizzo, Maria, and I don't know if he asked Rose or not, said, no, I never heard from, I've never even seen her. That automatically made Martin think I was a liar. Okay. Maybe, and I probably did look like a liar to him. I probably did. And so I was okay with him saying that. But I wanted to explain myself to him. Like, so I tried and I was like, Martin, I'm not lying to you. Let me show you. Well, then what I found out, here's what I found out. When you block, like if I block, let's just say if I block Maggie right now, okay, and then in 2 hours I unblock Maggie, everything Maggie has ever said uh, gets taken off and it's not replaced once you unblock them. So I had no way of ever seeing when Sue's that account subbed up to me, right? I knew the only way was to um I knew the only way was to get in touch with Tina, but I didn't want to involve Tina. I didn't want to involve though. That's how shit gets out of hand is when you're involving too many people, too many irons in the fire. It causes a humongous fire. So I didn't get Tina involved in that for a minute. And then I did my best. And he said, I don't understand what her being your sub has to do with anything. And I said, because you're saying she's a troll, but yet she was here before you were here. So how the hell is she trolling you? I didn't understand why I couldn't make him understand that. So that's what Martin and I were fussing about, right? I mean, I'm not lying to you and I'm not exaggerating. And I tell you guys, when I tell you, if I'm exaggerating something, I always tell you guys, I'm exaggerating this, but this is what happened. I'm not exaggerating this. From the time I got off that live, Martin was in my messages one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, just totally gone with the whole Suze thing. Wasn't worth, wasn't listening to me, wasn't being reasonable, wasn't listening to reason, didn't want to hear it, and couldn't understand why I wasn't understanding him as well. I did understand him. I understood. That was his sister's name. He felt like he's got these enemies now. They're trolling him, blah, 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 blah. But he couldn't understand that I'm saying, Martin, I already knew this screen name. If you go look at the screen name, it was created in 2013. That was way prior to Lene coming on board here, or even looking at YouTube, or even knowing there was a YouTube. Okay. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. I had never seen her say anything out of the way to Martin. I saw her in my chat say, Hi, Martin. Hi, Lizzo. That's what I thought I saw her say. Okay. That's another reason why I thought she knew Lizzo, because in my chat, she said, Hello, Lizzo. So after the whole morning of arguing, and I hadn't slept all night, after the whole morning of trying to argue my point of, I understand that this is what you think is happening, but this is what I know to be true, which was that she had been in my chat and Tina's chat long before a Martin ever came along. I said, and he told me, he said, that's not true because Maria's never seen her and Lizzo's never seen her. And then she went into Rose's chat and Rose said she never seen her, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, you know what? Go ask Maggie. Go ask Melly Joe. Because I knew Melly Joe had been in my chat from day one. Maggie had been in my chat probably with it probably took her a good month and a half, 2 months to come back because of the whole rift that happened between uh, Tina and Rose, and Maggie needed to take a break from it. So that, but still, Maggie had seen the screen name. Okay. Melly Joe had seen it because, like I said, Melly Joe has been, there has not been very many lives. Melly has not been in my chat. So Melly's like, why didn't he ask me? Well, at that point, when I said, go ask Melly, go ask Maggie, go ask Tina. She's already in Tina's chat again, too. Tina modded her. I watched it happen. And he said, those are your people. So, of course, they're going to agree with everything you say. So, automatically, I'm thinking, those are my people. So, because they're friends with me and they support the channel, A, they would lie for me. Two, does that mean that Maria and Lizzo are your people and that um, they would either lie for you or they would do or say anything that makes you comfy? So then my head's spinning, right? That morning, I talked to him all the way up my time till about 2 o'clock. And finally, I had enough. I told him 3 times. The first time I said, Martin, go argue with somebody else. I don't want to do this anymore. The second time I said, Martin, leave me alone. The third time I said, Martin, goodbye. And I meant goodbye. I went to bed. I was tired. I woke up to about 4 messages, maybe 3, of deleted messages where he had typed to me something, I don't know what. And then he deleted them. And the next thing I see is, I'm going live. Why don't you and your mate Maggie come over and tell me exactly why you would call me submissive and allow uh, a troll lie about the troll in your chat? And I was like, huh. Okay. Well, at this point, Maggie's asleep, right? So thank God Maggie didn't get that message because he sent the message to her too. The only difference is, guys, is that her message said, "Why don't you and your mate Lene come?" Okay. So I was like, okay. So I went over and I just sat in the bushes and I watched. And him and Maria were singing Kumbaya. Now I'm being facetious. Lizzo was singing Kumbaya. I didn't see Rose at all. Everybody was trying to work it out, figure it out, what was going on between them. So I just sat and I thought, okay, maybe because whatever's happened before I got here, I could tell they had just about finished talking about it. Like Peggy was involved, Lizzo was involved, Maria was involved, Martin was involved. I mean, everybody, I guess, who had a grievance there, they were already on the other side of it. Like they were understanding each other and just had listened to each other talk. And it was a great thing to see. So I thought, okay, now I can say something because there's already forgiveness in this chat. All I said to Martin was, "You summoned me," because he did. That's it. From then on, from that second on, Martin raged. He called me every name he could think of, told me to go fuck myself. I'm a fucking liar. That it was mine and Matt, and that I fucking lied on Rose and Maria. I don't know if you guys remember it because he was shouting it really really and I'm not just saying shouting. Shouting is a mild word compared to what Martin was doing. Now he had a room full of people. There wasn't that I could see a whole lot of people that knew me in there, but there were some mods in there. And uh and I'm doing my best to type, to tell him, as quickly as possible, like you got it wrong. Like I'm not a fucking liar at all. And I just there was no way to keep up with his mouth, right? So he was screaming to the top of his, I mean, to the point that there was a lot of people in there that were worried he was either going to stroke out or have a heart attack. That's how fucking bad it was. He called me every name in the book. Call me a fucking liar, that me and Maggie had fucking lied on Maria and Lizzo and Rose because they didn't fucking, I mean, everything, right? Then he would turn the camera. Now, this is what I think some of his subs didn't realize what he was doing because when Martin turns the camera, Martin's not over there taking deep breaths, y'all. Martin's over there hitting the weed. Okay. I know that for a fact because Martin's told me. Okay. So you can hear him off camera. I mean, hitting weed quicker than I hit a cigarette. And y'all know I'm a professional smoker. So I was watching chat and they're like, "I'm glad you're breathing." And I'm thinking to myself, fuck, this is, uh, does anybody know what's going on here? Because he's not sitting over there breathing, calming himself down. He's over there smoking weed so he could keep fucking going at me. Right. I mean, and I saw some of the chat and I gotta say, a lot of women in the chat were like, "What are you doing? What are you saying, Martin? Like, stop. Don't talk to her that way." I will say this right now. Bethy was my hero that day because Beth was like, "You're a piece of shit. I cannot believe you're talking to this woman that way." Okay. Um, and Beth was one of four, can I say this? Four people that reached out to me right after I was blocked in that chat, um, that reached out to say, I don't know what just happened, but I hope you're okay. Okay. Beth was my hero that day and I appreciated her. Maggie was asleep. She knew nothing had happened. Thank God. Okay. Um, and so Pink Fan, uh, Lizzo reached out to me, apologized, said, "I don't know what's happening. I'm so sorry." And I was like, "It's fine." I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him none of this. I didn't tell nobody none of this. None of it. I just was like, it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's going to be fine. The next morning, Maggie woke up and I gave her the 411. I didn't tell her everything that happened, but I'm like, Maggie, um, this stuff went down. It was vile. It wasn't good. I'm sure you're going to hear about it. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. So then Martin in my text messages, or not text, messaging, you know what I'm saying? Uh, started blaming me and Maggie for the trolls, for that Sue's troll. Pissed me off. I don't I don't even know how to troll. Sometimes I wish I did know how to troll, to tell you the truth, but I don't. I'm sure I could figure it out, but I'm not. I'm you would know I'm trolling. You would know. So if somebody's talking an F word every 5 minutes, you'd be like, yeah, that's Lene. Bitch can't shut up. So me and Maggie, not just to me, it was to other people that he was blaming that one of us were the troll. Now that he made up with Rose and Maria, um, now we're the trolls. Me and Maggie were doing that, right? Little did I know, he sent a message to Maggie, and the shit he said to her was bullshit. Complete bullshit. Martin also told me after all this was over with, and he did apologize to me in a message. And he said, and I was like, why didn't you tell me back months ago that you have held a grudge against me for calling you submissive, which I don't even know if I'm the first person that said it or not, but because he said it, I'm going to take him at his word. Why is it now, months later, that I hear that you've been holding a grudge against me for this long? And you know what he said? He said, because if I had told you on your panel, he said, I've watched you rip men apart. And he said, and you would have ripped me apart. And I said, you never fucking knew me, because there's not been once, not with Elsie, who was the fucker that just took down the, I mean, if you were here and you know, you know. And then the other guy, what was his name? I forget what his name was. Mr. He's done everything. He's seen everything. He's a father. And then he ended up being rude to DJ and taking down the whole freaking country of Australia. I said, both of those people, I gave them a chance. I said, and they deserved every bit, everything I gave them and more. I said, but before I ripped them a new asshole, I let them have their speak. I told them I thought they were fucking lying. I thought they were fucking idiots, and they're not allowed. And I didn't even drop them. I said, you got a choice. I'm either going to drop you out, and my mods are going to block you, or you can leave with whatever dignity you fucking have left in you and get off my panel and leave my channel. Simon, that's his name, Simon. My mods didn't even block Simon. Simon still comes in here from time to time, but he knows I'm not going to put up with his shit and don't start his shit here. Didn't even block Simon after all of that. So by Martin saying that he's watched me tear apart people on this panel, are you fucking kidding me? I've done nothing but lift people up, unless there are people like Simon and like LC who deserve that and more than what they got. I was fuming. And I never raised my voice. I talked just like it, like this right here, to both of them. But I let them know, you aren't fucking doing what you think you're doing here. It's not happening. Elsie was blocked immediately, and that was pretty much my call. I wanted him blocked. I didn't ever want to deal with him again. Okay. Simon comes and goes. But he don't start his shit here anymore. He knows. He knows. So for Martin to say that every man that's ever been on panel, I have torn them apart. Are you fucking kidding me? Every man that comes in here and gives me shit, they're the ones that start the shit, and I'll play along. I'll play along. I don't rip people just to rip people. I don't have a drama channel. I'm not that person. So then when he started discussing about how, oh, and I want to say hi to Martin. I know he's in chat or in the bushes with Elaine. Um, then when he decided that Maggie and I were the ones that either knew who was trolling or we were trolling, it pissed me off. And at that point, now you can say anything you want to about me. When it comes to my friends, I'll rip your jugular out. And I say that with a big smile on my face. Nobody fucks with my friends. And when he said that about Maggie, and I knew the shit that he had done to her, Mr. Henry VIII, he has spoken. Maggie's not allowed to talk back because he's spoken. Fuck you and you're spoken. Fuck you. Who the hell do you think you are? You don't go into somebody else's message. She didn't message you first, you little bastard. You went into hers. And then you don't shut her the fuck up by saying, I have spoken. Fuck you. Shove that shit right up your ass. So fuck you. When I heard of all that, that's when I knew that I had to bring Tina into this because it was the only way I could prove it. There was nothing left because she was blocked on my channel. Once I unblocked her, you don't get any of past messages back. So I had to get in touch with Tina because I knew Tina. I seen her in Tina's just since Tina's been back. I've seen her in Tina's. And I was like, Tina, I need your help. And I kind of explained to her, not a whole lot, but I explained to her a little bit about what was going on. I was like, I need your help. And I said, I need to go through at least the lives that you have um, done since you've been back because I got to find this girl. Tina was very kind about it. And she's like, do what you got to do. You know, I understand. And it was late for her. And she said, when I get up in the morning, she said, I'll look myself too. I sat here for 2 fucking hours before I figured out all I got to do right now is click on, let's just say, and I'm only calling names of the people who aren't going to say, oh, Lene's picking on me. I'm not picking on anybody. All I got to do is like click on Lizzo's name right now. And then it'll, if I'm over in YouTube, and it'll bring up channel activity and stuff like that. You hit channel activity, it'll show every time Lizzo ever commented. But not only does it show that, it breaks it down on what live or what video or what short Lizzo ever it brings it all in, unless Lizzo's been blocked at any point. Then from the blocked point, it all disappears and YouTube doesn't bring it back. So then I went to Tina's because I was in there when Suze was in there and had modded her again, right? And I went to Tina's and she's like, just do what you gotta do. I'm too tired to deal with it now, but I'll check in the morning as well. Took me 2 hours to figure that shit out, going from this person's page that maybe has them on and that person's page, blah, 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 because I couldn't find her in Tina's chat. And then I figured it out because I clicked on somebody's name. It took me 2 hours to figure it out, but I know now. Click on somebody's name, it brings up all their history. So then I went back to Suze, and I clicked on her name. And there's no history, not even in Tina's. And I thought, motherfucker, somebody's hijacked this account. Now, I don't know if that's possible that they hijack an account. I don't know. I don't know if, I don't know how it works. I don't know how you can start an account in 2013. I know you can't change the date. You cannot do it. I talked to YouTube. You cannot change the date. So that Suze that was on mine and Tina's before we ever knew of a Martin, you know, that fateful day. Before we ever knew that Suze started her account in 2013. Whenever the troll got a hold of it, I don't know. I don't have a clue. Do I think it's the same Suze that Tina and I knew and that Melly knows and that Mags knows and some of you may know? I don't know. I don't She could be a troll. But why would she start trolling Martin all of a sudden? Why wouldn't I have seen the Suze trolling other people? Okay. She didn't even know Martin. So why would she start? Here's the deal. I'm not gonna lie. If you ask everybody who knows Martin in here, including Maria, who I know is also here, they don't even know what Martin's sister's name is. I didn't know. They don't know either. We only found out that this Sue's person was quote unquote a troll of Martin's dear dead sister, as he calls her, um, because he said that. He told us that after the fact that um, that was the name of his dear dead sister. And at first, like I said, Rosa, Maria, and Gina Diamond were doing it. And then after he settled his beef with them, then all of a sudden it switched over to me and Maggie because by God, somebody was out to get him. Okay. I don't know if they were. I don't know if they weren't. I'm just saying the Suze I knew when I started my channel, we knew nothing of Martin. And she was still Suze with the same avatar as she was back then. So I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I don't know what happened. Martin was live, and I never, unless it's an emergency, I've never done it before, but I would do it again if it's an emergency and if I feel like it would help somebody. I sent Martin a message while Martin was live that day after I had been up for all those hours trying to figure out who the hell Suze is, how she plays into this, or whatever. That I believe that he was right. And I told him this in a message. He didn't read my message while he was live, but he thanked me. He said, "Thank you, Lene. I see it and I appreciate your support." Okay. Martin did all that, right? Now I'm still fuming that I even had to go and check this out because I'm still fuming because of just the way everything's gone down and he's made my life fucking miserable. Fucking miserable. Because So, anyways, back to the Sue's thing. So, all of Tina Sue's messages were deleted as well. They weren't there anymore. And Tina told me she had never deleted her. So that means that Sue's, if y'all remember the day, if you were in here, I tried to trick that Sue's person. Martin was in here as well. And I said, "Hey, Sue's, why don't you come up on my panel? Let's talk." She was like, "Yeah, I'll come up on panel." And Mags was up here with me. And then she made an excuse. "Oh, my internet's messed up. Oh, I'm shy. Oh, I'm now my can I come up tomorrow because I'm talking to my hubby." And I'm like, "Sure, sure." All those are red flags to me. So I don't if it's possible to hijack an account, that's what I think has happened. If not, I don't know. We haven't heard from Suze since the day I tried to get her up on my panel. That's another reason why I think it was hijacked because she was on to me. She knew what I was doing. And she couldn't come up on my panel because if it was a troll, we probably know her voice, right? Now, just because I did all that, I was still struggling with Martin so bad, and here's why. When Martin was raging at me on panel, not only was he calling me every name, telling me, I'm not even going to keep repeating it. It was the only time in my life that a man has ever talked to me like that. And besides my ex-husband, and Martin knew it. In fact, in his rage, Martin said to me, "Just because your ex-husband has done this to you, but you don't have to go blame all of us men. So you're just trying you don't like you don't like strong men that stand up for themselves." Fucking kidding me? I don't like fucking pussies. I love strong men. You don't know me, bitch. And if you think you're a strong man, you're not. You're not. So my point of all of this is, here's my point. Let's break down some facts here, okay? When Martin started going live on his channel, he was singing my praises. I'm Lene's I'm Lene's husband channel. That's why I've modded her mods. When Lene needs a break or doesn't feel like going on, I'm going to be going on for her. Um, I want to run my channel just like Lene does. Lene is the not matriarch of the channel. What was I? What was I? The patrona, the Patreon of the channel, right? I was all that. Lene was wonderful, right? Until Rose and Maria and Martin and Gina and everybody got into it. So I think what happened was this. It's the only thing I can narrow it down to. Not once did Martin say anything negative about Rose or Maria or Gina on his channel. Even after Gina publicly put on her Facebook and on her community post that she was no longer supporting Martin, Blessed Mama, or me. I was confused because the live that they were all fussing about, I wasn't even in that live, didn't know anything about it till the next day, wasn't there. So why you're not supporting me other than I was friends with Martin? I don't know. But she knew I was close to Martin, right? Well, what fucking Gina's not going to tell you is that dumb bitch, I got her to 50 subs as well. And to all of our defense, Gina says, I'm going to have all my subs unsub to Martin and Lene, and their channels are going to go down. Fuck you, Gina. I don't have one sub here. Not one person has subbed to me because of you. And the whole reason why you're not got any subs, I mean, you got like 90 something. We got you 50 just through mine, is because you've already had your ass handed to you all over YouTube. You've been kicked out of every fucking community there is to get kicked out of because you're a twat. You're a fucking idiot. And you think you're this big badass person that calls people roaches and bullshit like that. Don't come at you, bitch. I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you right now because you've had my name in your mouth enough. So here we go. Let's play. You want to play? Believe me. Believe you me, Gina Diamond. I have a lot more experience. A lot. So don't come at me, sister. Um, and if you do look at the one live you did, you had what, 5 people in it? And they were all from my fucking community. So you can kiss my motherfucking ass. Okay? How about that? All right? So that's handled. How is it that Martin, I was just put on a pedestal over there like nobody's business? But then as soon as the whole Maria, Rose, Gina thing happened, and they were, I mean, Martin was, I mean, you could go, well, his lives are all gone now, but if you look at Martin's lives, he was looking bad. You could tell he was being affected. Did he once ever say one fucking word to them? Did he ever do one fucking community post? Did he ever do one fucking live about them? No, he didn't. For what reason? I don't know. I don't know. But all of a sudden, he's now butthurt over something I said months ago, and now I'm the enemy. And then he baits me to come to his channel where he's making up with Maria and Rose, you see? And then the minute I make myself known that, hey, I'm here, what you need? He starts that shit. And I'm like, you stupid motherfucker. Why are you coming at me when you didn't have the fucking balls to call out what Maria was doing on her community post and what Rose was saying? You messed with the wrong. Don't mistake kindness for weakness. Don't do it. So I stewed on that for weeks and I was so sick over it. I was so sick over it because my natural self is to do this right here. But usually, how I handle it is I would rather Martin be sitting right up here with me and I would let him have his whole say. And then to tell you the truth, he probably would have left here crying because I would have ripped his ass and I would have been right because I don't talk nothing but facts. I have been lied on. Maggie and I had nothing to do with that person. Don't know who she is. I blocked that Sue's person, whoever she is, for Martin. Not only did I block the Sue's person for Martin, I also took down 3 of my lives, erased them for good without even going through to see what he was accusing me of, to see if he was right or if I was right. I just said, okay. I just there was no need to do it because if I found out I was right, then I could have went back and said, "Hey, Martin, you're wrong. Look at this part of it. Sorry, I wasn't the first person that called you that." There was no sense in doing that. What I told Martin was, "You told me I hurt you, so it's not a big deal to me. It's 3 lives. If I have to take down all my lives because I've hurt somebody, I'm willing to do that because I'm not out to hurt anybody. Don't want to." But I'm done. I seriously am not gonna be a floor mat. I'm not gonna fucking be anybody's floor mat, and I suggest you don't either. I don't like it. And so when you ask, I don't know what the hell happened over there. Like, one minute everybody's saying kumbaya and Martin's, they're all getting along now, and all of a sudden Lene walks in, nobody knew there was even a fucking problem, and boom, the bitch grew just flipped out on me. And the biggest pussy move he made, let me tell you what the biggest pussy he made was. This is when I was like, you're not a man. And if you're a man, you're very tiny. He did it on his channel where he doesn't have um, panels. He did it on his channel where he was the only person that can be heard. And if I really hurt you, why the hell did you sit on my panel as much as you did? Why the hell did you put me up on a pedestal on your channel as much as you did until the whole Rose Maria thing? Why the hell why did you do everything you're doing? Why? And then all of a sudden you just remember, oh yeah, Lene hurt my feelings, so let me go after her now because I don't have the fucking balls for whatever reason to go after the people who are really hurting me. I didn't fucking hurt Martin. Martin and I sat on this panel many, many times together. Many, many times. So yeah, there are people that's blocked in my chat. When I came back on, I could have done this very live, like after it all went down with me and Martin, I could have fired up. I could have come over here and just ripped him a new asshole. But I chose to take a higher road and I chose to not involve subs because all of us that were here and went through that with Tina and Rose, there's still remnants today of it. There are people that are still struggling and it's terrible. It's terrible. And I didn't want to do that to you guys because I care about you. I really do. But here's the deal. How many weeks later is it that it's going on? That first went on? I didn't say a word. I just said, do not choose between me and Martin. That's what I told you guys. I said, you don't have to stop being his friend. You don't have to stop being my friend. And I meant that. And I still mean that today. But here's the way I thought people think. And this was wrong of me. This is where I went wrong. If I knew, even if I didn't know the backstory, because nobody knew the backstory except for the ones Martin told, because I didn't tell anybody. I told Maggie a little bit of it, but Maggie's my co-host. So if something happens on this channel, Maggie's going to know. That way, if I'm not here and it's brought up, Maggie, or she's not in the dark. She knows what's going on. She knows how to handle it. Right. So Maggie was the only one that knew. I didn't tell anybody else. There was one other person whenever it was just when Martin was going into other lives and trashing me and going into other people's, my friends, people that I've known since I've been on here and before I started the channel, and was trashing me to them and Maggie to them. Oh no, no. I was willing to let it all go because I'm a firm believer. If somebody's walking around with a sword and they stabbed you in the back, one day they'll fall on it. They'll fall on it. And people will realize. But when I've gotten the message that I've gotten the last 2 days of the shit that's been said, that a lot of stuff I don't even know what this is what I've been told, Lene. There's stuff that went on behind the scenes that you knew nothing about because we tried to protect you. And then some other people said, Lene, this is what was said. And then just today, you know, I'm still going through the process of blocking people. What to do? What to do with this to get this back to the channel that we were all just having fun, that we were being real, that sometimes times were hard and we cried, and then sometimes we were laughing, and other times Lenie's flirting. And that's what I wanted to get back to. But I realized today that unless I confronted this head on and explained to you exactly what went down, it's never going to go away. And people are being pulled in every direction. Now, when I said, don't stop being his friend, listen, I never stopped being Rose's friend as far as caring about her, right? Um, I, I'm not gonna lie, I pray for Rose, right? But that didn't mean when I took the stance against what I believed was wrong that she was doing, that I went and sat in her chat the very next day after all that shit was happening and laughed it up and sat there with chat and acted like nothing had happened, that I didn't witness rage going on about another human being. So I'm not going to lie. When I saw that happening, I can't tell you, hey, this is how you can still be somebody's friends while at the same time saying, look, I don't support this at fucking all. This is wrong. And until you completely make this right, then maybe I'll start trusting you enough to come back into this channel. Until then, I wish you well. I've done that with many people. And it'll continue happening because if I hear my friends being thrown under the bus or hurt again, it won't happen. I won't be over there supporting them. It's not going to happen. So when people showed back up at Martin's and I was just sitting there watching and I was floored, I was like, maybe I just didn't make myself clear, or maybe just people don't see what I think of as support, or maybe people just don't understand that you could still be somebody's friend and care very much for them, but take a stand against what happened. I don't feel like nobody took a stand. I feel like there were 2 people that took a stand. There absolutely 3 if I count Mags. There were absolutely 2 people that took a stand and said, "Fuck no. If he's gonna talk like that to you, who's done nothing but help him and be kind to him," and I can say that before God, the whole time he's been in our channel, what is he gonna do to people that piss him off? If you think for 1 second, if Martin stayed on this platform, if he comes back to this platform, and if you think you've heard the last of one of Martin's rages, you're wrong. Because there are people that like to make excuses, you see, like he has, and even Martin, when Martin apologized to me, all like, instead of just owning his shit and saying that should have never happened to you, like I was completely wrong in that, it was excuse after excuse after excuse of who all he's done this very same thing to in his life, where he's been kicked out of, who he's been fired by, what his government is doing with him now. So, in other words, I was supposed to excuse everything that happened to me that blindsided me, that I actually got baited into, knowing that I would not have a voice over there. I was supposed to excuse all that because he has some kind of personality disorder. No, no. Mm-mm. And the reason why I say no is, here's why. He didn't freak out on Maria or Rose. He didn't rage on them. And every day that it happened was every day that he went downhill, right? So he had self-control for that. He's had self-control for other things in his lives. He came on my channel for the first time on, I went and looked it up. I think it was May the 31st. He's never raged at anybody on my channel. So for all those months, he was able to keep his shit together. That supposedly I had done months ago. Okay, when the first week he was on my channel. So this is back in May. And it took it that long, supposedly, to catch up to him that he just couldn't handle life with me anymore. Fuck you. And I don't buy it. I am willing to give anybody grace. Anybody. And I do feel very deeply for people that have any kind of mental problems. But do not. I got zero um, compassion for anybody who uses it as an excuse to be a vile person. Whether it was you, whether it would have been Rose, whether it would have been Maria, whether it would have been Gina Diamond. I don't dig it. Right. So there it is. So everybody said, we don't know what went on, Lena. We don't know. Well, now you know. Some of you have already heard this from Martin. But I will tell you this, just from some of the people that I've talked to, a lot of it's lies. And the number one lie is that Maggie and I had anything to do with anybody trolling Martin. I don't troll anybody. I'm according to Lene. This is according to Lene. And I have 2 chicks in the pond. That's it. That's it. Now I could sit here and screenshot all day long and prove everything that I'm saying to you. Everything. But that's not me. And I'm not going to do it. Those of you that have been with me know. I tell it like it is. I don't bullshit people. I don't lie to people. I don't care. I don't have a reason to lie. It's dumb. It's dumb. What's in it for me? Diamonds? No. So when I ask you not to take sides, what I meant was d- don't quit being friends because he took it out on me. But by you being in his chat, laughing it up with him the very next day, that's supporting it. It's telling him, well, she deserved it. And when I heard him say, yeah, I've talked to people coming into his chat that don't know fuck about me. Are you okay, Martin? Martin, are you okay? Well, why the hell would he be? He's the one raging. Didn't give anybody else a voice. But okay, let's ask Martin, you okay? You okay, buddy? Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people. I've got a lot of support, people. Fuck you. Every time that I've made a mistake and hurt anybody's feelings, I've come right on here and I have apologized in public for it because I'm not perfect and I want everybody to know I'm not perfect and that I did somebody wrong and I'm going to take responsibility for that. And I guess I just expected that since he publicly uh, raged on me like that, just thought the right thing to do would probably publicly say to all those people that don't know shit about me and the ones that did know shit about me that just automatically thought Lene was wrong and must have done something to Martin. Um, he probably should have at least come on and say, you guys, I didn't handle that very well. She did nothing to deserve that. He didn't do it. Do you think he's offered any kind of apology to Maggie? Maggie's never once brought up what's been said to her. Not once. But every time Martin has come in here since all this has happened, Maggie's been nothing but kind and welcomed him and said hello. How do you think that makes her feel? But nobody knew that because we didn't put it out there. So this doesn't have anything to do with Maggie. And if Martin ever comes back, he can come at me. But now you know. Now you know why he would come back and come at me, and his friends might come at me. I don't give a flying fuck. Don't care. And at this point, I don't want an apology because he's already showed his true colors. And the reason Martin was in here the other night is because I had already planned. I When I came back, I knew when I decided that I really was going to come back and I was going to bust my balls and just get back to this, no matter how scary it was, and no matter how much I hated seeing certain names that I knew um, were backing everything he did and making it okay and letting him know she triggered you, or you can't help it because you've got a personality disorder. You know, those people. Yeah, this is what I decided. I have to get rid of Martin. And I did get rid of Martin. His last message that he sent to me was the other morning when he was in here. And he said to me, um, yeah, I'm in chat. I'm saying a bunch of shit that's not being responded to. I'm done. My mom's coming over here. You do you. He thinks he's funny by saying you do you because that's what I say a lot. So I know what he's doing, right? I mean, half of his channel, anyways, was exact replica of me and Maggie. Most of his lines come from me and Maggie thinking he's funny and shit. I'm like, dude, stop. Just do a Martin show. Don't do a sequel part two to Maggie and Lene. We don't need it. We got it. We're good. You do you. That's what he was doing. I never messaged him back. Instead, I blocked him. So to me, Martin is gone. I don't ever want him back. I never wanna see him again. I don't care to hear about him. If he comes back, good on you, do you, whatever. I can't even say I wish him the best. I don't care because I just don't care. That's the truth. The other thing I'm gonna say is that, yes, Maria's blocked here, and I know Maria's upset about it. And, but here's my deal, and I know Maria's here, and I know she's listening, so I'm just gonna say it publicly because there was a public thing said on my, in my chat this morning that your guests, you're not welcome here, and I wasn't gonna say nothing. I just let it go, let everybody read it. They see what's happening, but, um, because of that and because that, Maggie's being this is my channel. Maggie helps me, and Maggie's a great asset to this channel, and I truly don't wanna do this without Maggie. Um, but it all in all, it falls on me. Maggie doesn't block people. She's not a mod. As far as that way goes, Maggie's the manager, she's the co-host here. So she doesn't get into mods business, and she doesn't get into the channel decisions that I make. She knows, she might know sometimes she don't, but most of the time I try to keep her in the loop. Um, so instead of talking to Maggie about, um, me blocking, if you've been blocked here, you probably should just find me. According to lenegmail.com, that's the best way to get in touch with me. Um, the deal is that, when Maria, Rose, all of them were going at it, I've still got the emails, and I had blocked Maria. The only reason I blocked Maria and Gina Diamond. I blocked Gina Diamond whenever Gina Diamond publicly said that she no longer supported me, Martin, Blessed Mama. Now, I didn't block her because the Martin thing or the Blessed Mama thing, even though at the time we were all friends. I blocked her because just like, what the fuck did I do? I wasn't even in the live. What is okay? And calling me a maggot or whatever the hell she says. What am I? I'm some kind of bug. I'm a Lene bug. I was just like, you know what? I don't need the trash. Everybody was right. You know, my first thought about you was right, but I give everybody one chance. So I blocked her. Well, then I blocked Maria because when everybody quit chatting the last time that one of the times Rose had gone live and people were coming in here and they were bouncing back and forth between my channel and Rose's channel. And they were like, Lene, she's talking about you or whatever. She's not saying anything mean about you or whatever, but her and Martin are going off, it was setting off, whatever. I don't know. And this was before I had a problem with Martin. And I went over there and I couldn't see, Maria was being completely trashed over there by somebody. I don't know who it was. It was some troll. And I was like, why? I texted or messaged somebody and I said, does Maria know this is being said about her? Um, and they were like, yeah, Maria, it was Martin. And I messaged Martin. I said, Martin, does Maria know that all this shit is being said about her? Because I was pissed. And he's like, yeah, Maria's in chat. You don't see her. And I was like, no. And so I screenshotted this asshole saying all this mean stuff. And then Martin screenshotted that Maria was actually there and saying, what is going on? Like, I don't know, who is this person? And I was like, oh my God, I'm blocked. I didn't know I was blocked. And I was like, you know what? I'm not playing the block game. I don't want to do it. I don't play games I don't play games here. I can give a shit less. So I just thought it had to do with the whole Gina Diamond thing or whatever, the whole second live of Martin's. I didn't know what was happening. So I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that. I don't want her coming into my chat, bringing any trash over here. I don't want Gina Diamond bringing any I don't know what's going on with you people, but I don't need it. And since they've already blocked me first, one turn deserves another, right? So, uh, you drew swords first. Let's go. So I went and I blocked her. Then I got a message from her, very nice messages. She did not know I was blocked. And how can I punish Maria for somebody else blocking me on her account, right? Can't do that. Felt terrible. But she also understood that, of course, that would be the thing to do. If you're blocked somewhere, you should block them as well. That's it, separate, right? So when we figured it out, Maria was very honest with me about who had blocked me. And I appreciated that. I love honesty, even if it's going to hurt me. I love it. And so I was like, Maria, of course, I'm not going to block you. I mean, I'm going to unblock you. We're good. I just didn't know. So I unblocked Maria. But here's the deal. When all that went down with Martin, um, a lot of my subs, not a lot, there was quite a few of the subs, all but about 2 or 3 were over there with Martin and just, now I understand that they were just trying to do what I asked them to do by not taking sides. And I should have made it more clear than that. SA, you probably should just ask me instead of my mods. I mean, I would just ask me. I don't understand. Anyways, so in the last couple days of trying to figure out how do I get rid of Martin? How do I get rid of Martin? And to where I don't hear this name anymore and I don't see it anymore and I don't do it anymore. First, I had already blocked him in Messenger. He couldn't get in touch with me there. Shut down my Facebook account so he can't get in touch with me there. He could still get in touch with me in email, I suppose, but I don't even have to read that. I just click off. Block him on my channel, even though I'm sure he's listening on another name. So that was the way to do it. And then I saw Martin come in just this last morning, when he told me, you do you. Because I wasn't reading out his comments. I guess part of them I didn't even see. I guess they were being blocked before I even saw them. I only saw like one. I went back in to make sure that I had done it right. And you guys, I don't know, there are 3 I'm Martins. Like, what the fuck? Right? So I blocked all 3 I'm Martins. Right? I got to be done. You don't come back from shit like that. I can forgive and never give you another reason to ever do that to me again. Just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean you got to break bread with them people. Just because you forgive doesn't mean that you have to be besties anymore and hang out in the same chat. There's plenty. Go find a chat to hang out with your other friends in. It doesn't have to be here. Or better yet, start your own lives and your friends can come right on over. How about that? So then I'm going through my messages and from people who, mods, people who have reached out to me, which weren't very many. I think people just didn't want to get involved for the most part, but the mods were in a bad position. They were. Martin went live on purpose, I believe, whenever Maggie was. Now, Maggie had scheduled her time to be live reading the book that we were going through. Now, personally, I think whether Maggie's sitting up on the panel or I'm sitting up on the panel, you're a mod to this chat. We would, if Martin had scheduled a live, we would have changed it. There are times I see Rose, like the other night. Rose was on live until like 2:30 in the morning. I wasn't going to fire up a live when Rose, even though I don't go into Rose's, I don't think she comes over here that often. Why would I fire up a live? I mean, we kind of still have the same community, whether it's people that dislike her or do like her. So why would I fire up a live when Rose is live? Why would I fire up a live when Tina's live? Why would I fire up a live when Martin's live or Lizzo's live or Beth's live? People that have helped me or I've helped them. I'm not going to do it. But Martin decided to go live whenever Maggie was live. Um, so there's 3 times that I know of that Martin started a live when I was live. Now that wouldn't be a problem at all if he didn't mod the same mods I have. That puts the mods in a bad position. Because that to me, if you think that um, if you ask me, if you think that, oh, he modded me because I'm I'm a good mod, which you're great mods. Uh, I I think you're great, but I don't think that was the only reason. I think he had every intentions of causing strife here. He succeeded. I think he had every intentions. Why he hated me so much, I don't know. I don't know why he still hates me so much. Well, now he has reason to, but before today, he didn't. He didn't. Um, I think you're a self-centered asshole, knowing that you have modded the same mods that I have here, and now they're stuck on what the fuck do we do now? For me, I just think that's self-centered. Maggie and I are not gonna start up a live that 9 of our mods are modding for the same person over there. We're not gonna do it because we're not gonna now, um, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? Martin's the one that publicly put out there, I'll go live whenever I want to. Okay, well, I could say the same thing. Let's go. Does it hurt me? No. Does it hurt Martin? No. It hurts the mods. And that's why purposely Maggie and I would never do it. So this isn't about that these mods are my fucking mods and don't fucking touch them. Because I shut down, if you know anything about me, here's what you probably don't know, Elaine. I shut down my own live today with almost 40 people in here to go and hang out with another creator, and she modded everybody over there. So, and do you think I have a problem with it? No, because she's got integrity and she's got um, morals, and she's got her lives already all set up, and we go live at different times. So there will be no conflict of interest. And she's not self serving. So the people that are blocked, you can just listen to this. When Maria and I'm not gonna read all of the emails that Maria and I went through together. I would encourage Maria to read them again. Um, I was told when Maria and Martin were fighting not to trust him. That Maria thought he was sweet as pie too, and he turned on her just like that. Uh, not to trust him at all, and that she wished she had never met him. And then I turn around, and you're telling me don't trust him. You wish you had never met him, to watch myself. And then I turn around and you guys are BFs again because you think that once somebody says they're sorry, that you guys could be friends again, and that's on you. Some things can be absolutely forgiven. Some things can, and we can move on from it. Um, but some things, like what happened with me and Maggie, we can forgive them, but you will never get the opportunity to do it again. So when you can't understand how I could say, I don't trust you, it's because you tell me, don't trust him. You wish you had never met him. You wish he didn't follow you around all the time and say to you, there she is. And then you turn around and befriend him again. That makes no sense to me. And that is why I'm just like, you can't have it both ways. Either you feel like he's untrustworthy and you are trying to guard people you care about against this, or it was just a fleeting feeling for you. And even though you know what he's capable of, you're willing to run with him. For me, I have to protect myself here, and I'm going to protect myself just like I'm going to protect everybody who comes in here, but I'm going to protect me too. Martin isn't good at all for me. I think he's a weasel. I think he's a piece of shit. And those are my thoughts. You don't have to have the same ones. Um, and I do forgive him. I don't like the way he handled things. I think I was done wrong. I think I was the brunt of everything that he took from Maria and Rose for those however many days that was going on. Um, and he lashed out at me and Maggie. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe he valued Rose and Maria more than he did me, but he absolutely baited me and Maggie. It's just Maggie was asleep. He baited both of us to come into that chat so that he could do exactly what he did. So, those of you that used to be a part of this channel that are blocked, that's why. That's why. The only way I could tell if an account is the same by the time it was created. Well, Sue's was created in 2013, but somehow it was Maria and Rose and Gina Diamond that were trolling Martin from that account. And then it wasn't a real account, yet it was made in 2013, and we've only known Martin for about 4 months. So, you tell me. I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. That's my story. If Martin comes back online, I don't know if he will or not. I don't know if he's on or not. Um, and cusses me up one side and down the other. I don't care. I don't care. Because I'm not lying. And that's exactly what happened. The only way I'll ever speak on it again is if Maggie's attacked again. You don't attack my friends. You don't get to be rude to my friends. If you don't have nothing nice to say about them, don't come. Don't come. Especially Maggie. You don't. And I don't want to call the two people out besides Mags that stood by me from word go. Neither one of them were there. Neither one of the two people that are in this chat right now were even there and listen. Thank God that the two people that stood beside me were not there and did not even understand really what had gone on. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you because of all the people that were in that live that day. I think it was just Lizzo, Pink Fan, Lunch Lady. Maybe not Lunch Lady. Maybe I don't think she was even there. Bethy. I know it was for sure Pink Fan, Bethy, Lizzo, for sure. That reached out. And I didn't even tell them then. They didn't know what was going on or what broke it down. They don't know. And I didn't tell them. And I barely told the two people that really stuck next to me. I mean, that were really just, are you okay? And it wasn't just that night. It was one of them, it was every freaking day sending me something, are you okay? The other person was in my email and she's had her own she had a run-in herself with the person, and she really only supported me and Mags by being back over there. And, um, so of course I went to her and I told her, "You you were right, and I should have listened." I not that she was trying to pull me away from anybody over there, but she too told me to watch myself and to be careful. And I didn't because I was like, "Nah, same thing with Maria." When Maria told me, "Watch yourself. Don't trust him." When Maria said all that to me, I was like, I'm thinking, I didn't say it to either one of them, but I'm thinking to myself, Martin's all right. He's just misunderstood. Yeah, no, he's not all right. So that's it. I appreciate everybody for being here. This is not my MO. This is not what I do. This is not what my channel's about. Um, but I will always, every day, stand in defense of my friends. And so just be wary of that, because I let a friend, someone who's very dear to me, down very much by remaining silent. And now I know what that feels like. So I'm just letting you know. Best thing to do is, if you don't like the people who come into this chat, just stay away, because we are already a family. We are already bonded. And there was definitely some bombs thrown in here to try to separate us. And I thank God for the ones that stuck around, even if they didn't know what the hell was going on. If I was losing my fucking mind or he had lost his fucking mind, they still stuck by me, and I appreciate that. Um, so thank you guys for hearing me out. You guys do with it what you want to do with it. And and I hope I've made myself very clear as to why people are blocked, and why they're going to remain blocked. I love you guys very much. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good day.